And I think we'll get started. We've got 66 people on right now. 67. They keep trickling in. Big crowd. All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Neil Burkhouse. I work with and for Ron Klein at the Illinois Press Association. The IPA, as we call it, hosts about 21 states across the country for public notices. And we are now working with Texas Press Association. So that's what brings us together today. And we're going to talk about the newspaper admin portal. So the public website, which is available to everybody, is texaspublicnotices.com. And this is what I'm showing you on the screen right now, where anybody can search for public notices on the Texas website. From the public, login is not required. But the people that are here today are going to access the administration portal, as we call it, through this URL, which is txnewspaper.texaspublicnotices.com.
The recording is so.
And when you go to txnewspaper.texaspublicnotice.com, you're going to be presented with a login. You should have received your login, or you will receive your login from the Texas Press Association. It is your email address and a password. For the purposes of this discussion training session, I'm going to log in with a test account.
That may be just was me.
That's just for that, yeah.
Did he give her copies of his driver's license and insurance?
Yeah, I've got that.
Okay. Did he sign any of the other stuff?
No, we didn't.
We did the first part because this is all the forms.
And when I log in, you can see the newspaper administration message. Across the top of the web page, you have a welcome message with your email address that you use to log in. You have the option to change your password, sign out, and then there's a help menu. I would like to point out that the help menu in this particular website is very useful. If you click on that, it's going to open a PDF that you can either print or download. It's 14 pages long. It contains 2 links to videos. So how to manually upload and managing your control panel, which is the topic of our discussion today. I'll take you through that. But if you'd like, you can download these Windows Media Player videos and watch them on, when you have time, or you can just read through the documentation. It's pretty straightforward. We're going to cover it all today, and it'll take you through everything that we talk about today. So that's very useful. On the left side of the screen, we have 4 what we call control panel applets. The first one of which is users, which we're going to go into right now. And when you click on users after you log in, you will see yourself and any other users that are assigned to the publications that you are assigned to as a super user. There are 2 types of users that can be set up in this admin portal. A super user, which is pretty much what everybody is, or you might have somebody that you set up as a regular user. The difference between a super user and a regular user is the super user, which is what I am logged in as, has 4 applets here, the top 2 being users and publications. A regular user doesn't see users and publications. They only see public notices and reports. We're going to go through all 4 of these right now. All right, starting with users. Here's my user. We have a user upload ID, last name, first name, email address, and whether or not the status shows whether or not the user is active or disabled. If you are a super user for your publication, you have the option also to delete a user if somebody leaves, or you can just simply deactivate them. If I click on the view button next to a user, it'll bring up all the user information. Step 1A is where a user can be active or inactive. Step 1B is the profile. The asterisk marks the fields that are mandatory. First name, last name. You can have information such as company, address, city, state, and zip, phone number. Email notifications can be turned on. Those are only for feeds from your system. I don't know what we call it, auto upload.
We're getting a lot of feedback. Maybe everybody should mute.
Yeah, it's getting pretty bad.
Yeah, I can't hardly hear either.
Let's see if I can figure out how to mute everybody.
I don't remember.
Huh. I could figure out how to mute everybody. Yeah, where is mute all? All right, is that any better? Nope, we still have. Wow. Okay. I don't know how to mute all in Zoom.
I think if you go down to the participants and you click on that, you might be able to say mute all there. There on the left-hand side by the side.
Thank you. I had a hard time finding that. Apologize for that. But there you go. All right. So back to the user menu here, which is the top control panel applet. Start or asterisk fields are mandatory. User first name, last name. It also contains information that's optional, such as company name, address, city, state, zip, phone number, whether or not email notifications are going to be sent out for feed files, the user's email address. There is a change password field where you can assign a new password to a user and click save password. And then it'll show you what publications a user is associated with. So my test user, I'm set up for the Abernathy Advocate as super user. There is only regular or super user. Then I have the Free Press as a super user and the Jacksonville Progress. I'm a regular user.
Hey, Neil.
Yes.
I think you need, I think we had some more people join you.
All right, large crowd. Okay. So if you are a super user, you will be able to go in and see your users, and you can make corrections to that user or reset their password and add publications that you are a super user for to that user. Is there any questions about publication user information? Anybody want to raise their hand or put something in the chat and I can come back to those?
Yeah, you can unmute yourself if you have a question to ask. Just remember that.
Perfect. So if I go back to newspaper main, the second control panel applet on the left side is publications. Here you'll see the publications for which you are a super user. You will be able to click the view button and edit information about that particular publication. Things that we can see here are what type of publication is it, daily, weekly, monthly, etc. If they are in a group name, it'll show up here. Otherwise, it would say unassigned. There's a publication ID that's system assigned. The upload ID for papers that are going to have automatic feed created. The upload ID is used in the file name to identify the publication for which you're uploading files. I'll talk a little bit about that later, but the focus on this discussion today is newspaper administration, how to administer your public notices and manually upload them. Obviously, we're going to have a publication name, address, city, state, and zip. You can have a publication URL, which will be viewable by the public when they look at notices that came from your publication. It's not required. It's information only. It's not a URL to the individual notice. It's a URL to your particular newspaper.com website. More information for contacts, name, phone, fax, or email. You could, for informational purposes only, have a legal rate listed here, description, admin notes. If you have a publication that ceases to publish, you can, rather than delete the publication because there's maybe notices out there for it, you can check the checkbox for ceased. So you can make changes, corrections here, like address changes, spelling mistakes corrected, etc., and save the profile. But there's no add publication. The publications have been imported for you. If you find that there is a publication that's missing, you just need to let the Texas Press Association know and we'll get it taken care of. Step 2A, you can upload a JPEG or PNG file. If you would like a logo uploaded, that would also show up when the public is searching public notices for your publication. Step 2B shows the users associated with that particular publication. So I'm looking at Abernathy Advocate right now, and we can see that this is the user I'm logged in as. Ron has a demo user here. Christina's got a user, and then here's another test demo user. Step 2C is the default city and county for the publication. The default city and county is where the public would see the notices for that location. However, the system does have the ability to search through the text of the notification or the notices, public notices, for things like city of, county of, and if it finds Abernathy, obviously use that as the default. If it finds Anderson or in county of or Elkhart for city of, it'll use that, etc. But this is the default value. There can be only one right now, but if you have a need to have multiple, you can let us know and we can set that up for you. But every publication has one default value. So I'll go back to publications. Again, when you're logged in as a super user, you'll be able to see your users and your publications. A regular user will only have public notices and reports.
Neil,
Yes.
this is Ramona with the Banner Press. I do have a question on the city. You said the default.
Yep.
I cover 3 counties, so how do I do that? Can we go back on that real quick?
One city, 3 counties?
Well, I mean, my location is in one town, but I cover 3 counties. So, when the legal notice comes in, are they just going to be able to look at one county? You see what I'm saying?
No, they're going to be able to see all the notices that get posted up there. And then there's an algorithm that'll run. And if the content of the notice says city of or county of, then it'll grab that from the notice itself. This is a default value if it doesn't find it.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You should be fine. Okay. Let's go back to newspaper main. I'll get to your questions in a minute. All right. The third control panel applet is public notices, and this is where the majority of the work is going to be done in this particular admin portal, the newspaper admin portal. So when you click on public notices, you can obviously search for your notices, see your notices here. You don't have to log into the newspaper admin portal to view your notices. You could just go through the public site, but when you're logged into the newspaper admin tool, you're only going to see the publications that are assigned to you. So you might want to log in there to view them. You certainly would log into this portal to edit them and add them. And that's what we're going to talk about now. On the upper right here, we have an add public notice green button. And when we click on that, the default is there's two choices, and the default value is to upload up to 10 public notices as files, whether they're PDF, text, and or XML. The most widely used option is text, but we do have the ability to upload individual PDF display public notices and or XML, which the XML is not used very often here. That's more geared toward a programmed automated process on a system end, so to speak. So if we use the upload files default, we just click next, and then we're presented with up to 10 browse buttons. All right, so I'm going to show you how we're going to upload multiple notices via a text file first. All right. And the thing about the text file upload, and here's an example of what I'm going to upload is, we have public notices separated by a vertical line or pipe symbol, which on your keyboard is Shift / right above the Enter key. If you're going to be constantly uploading more than one notice, you can place them in Notepad or a text edit if you're on a Mac or whatever simple text editing program you have. You copy and paste it in, do a pipe symbol, copy and paste the next notice in, pipe symbol, etc. So, and then presumably you save that file on your hard drive and you know where it is. You click the browse button and you go grab that file. Once I do that, I can see file 1 is my LEG for legal notices copy. I click next. And in this screen, we can see that this is the name of my file. I've only chosen one file, and in that file, I have 22 notices. So far, so good. Now, the next thing you need to do when you're uploading a text file with the legal notices in it is to choose your publication. So it'll default to whatever alphabetically is on the top of your list. There may only be one, there may be more than one, depending on how many newspapers you work for. In this particular case, I'm going to use the Abernathy Advocate. It's in the list, but I haven't added it yet. It's very important. You won't be able to move on. If I click next, are you sure you want to finish and save? I'm going to say okay, but it's giving me an error because I didn't actually choose the publication. It's in the list. You got to click the green button to add the publication. Once you do that, you'll see a gray box down below, and it will tell you what your publication was that you added. The next step is the publication date. We need to add a date as well. Otherwise, if we try to go on, it's going to give me an error. No publication date provided for the publication. So if I click my mouse in the date field, I'll get a calendar. Let's say this is a Thursday weekly publication. Today's Thursday the 30th, so I'm working on next Thursday, December 7th. I click that, click add date. So that's the most common error that people will see, is that they click next before they do the 2 steps of step 1, adding the publication, step 2, providing a date for a publication date for that publication. And you can add as many dates as you need to. If you're a daily and you're adding days consecutively, just click them off. Yeah, obviously, if you're a weekly, you can move the month there. Select your date and then always finish by clicking the green button, add date. Now, I'm working on one file. I've got 22 notices in this file. I've chosen, in this particular example, one publication, and I've got 2 dates. that may happen to you or may not. I don't know. It depends on how your workflow is. But in this particular example, I've got 22 public notices, and I'm going to tell the system that to use the default of what I've got set up here. So they're all 22 are going to go into the Abernathy Advocate for these 2 days. If I didn't want the default, then I could specify different dates or different publications or multiple publications for each notice. Most common is I'm working with one file for one publication and a set of dates or a single date. Once I have all that information here, I'll click next. Do I want to finish? Say okay. And then when you get the message successfully created, you're good to go. You can click close and refresh. If I click close and refresh, it's going to bring me back to the Manage Public Notices page, and it's going to show me the notices that I just uploaded. So I've got 10 showing per page. Page 1 is 10, page 2 is 10, page 3 is 2, 22, matches what I was working on. Things that we can see here. The ID is going to automatically generate based from the system, so no need to worry there. We can look at the publication and what its publication date is. Status. We just uploaded these to the system, and it'll stay in an uploaded status until the publication date arrives. And then we have a process we call like the midnight process, runs midnight, 1 a.m. And it searches all the notices that have been uploaded and checks it against its publication date against the current date. So the system will automatically change the status from uploaded to posted on its publication date, and then the notices will be available online for the public. You can see what date and time the notice was uploaded, who uploaded it, and what the mode was. In this particular case, it was a manual upload. If your publication has a system where a developer or a programmer or an IT person sets up an auto feed for you and sends it in through the FTP, the upload mode could say auto. But in either case, whether they're uploaded manually or automatic through a feed, this is where you would come to manage the public notices. You'd still be able to see them. Everything applies. If I click on view on this particular notice, I could go in and I could make changes. If there's a spelling mistake or any mistake that needs to be corrected, you up until the first publication date, you can come in here and make changes if you need to. Once the notice has been published online, the publication date has been reached, you can no longer make changes to the notice. If you need to make changes or delete, cancel, etc., you'll need to reach out to the Texas Press Association and we'll make those changes for you. Doesn't happen too often, but occasionally it could. But you can make changes up to the first publication date. Is there any questions about that process, uploading one text file with multiple notices separated by the pipe symbol?
I have a question.
Sure.
If you're uploading multiple, they all need to be running the same dates, correct?
That's the easiest way to do it. If you've got more than one, yes.
Okay, but if like one is running for 2 weeks consecutive, that would need to be uploaded separately?
And it depends on your workflow, really. Yes, it's probably quicker and simpler to do it that
Okay.
way. Yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Neil, I also have a question.
Sure.
Does it maintain the formatting of what came to us, or I mean, it looks with the text file, it looks like it doesn't maintain like where it's bolded or things of that
Right.
nature. Does it?
No, it's really just a text upload. In the case of a display ad, when the ad is in a PDF, then the PDF file, and I'll show you that, then the PDF file is available for the public to download, view and or download. You know, it's if you like, for example, let's look at this first one, plaintiff versus Carlos Diaz. Let's take a look at that. I guess I can't find it. Let me look. So you see how it's got this line and then the
Mhm.
next line? It'll show up online just like this.
So if
But-
our customers specifically request that the formatting remain the same on the notice when it runs, are we going to need to manually go in and use where it says on that notice detail to bold or that kind of thing?
Well, it really depends on how how you put it in here in your text file or versus how it exports out of your system. Are you going to be doing it manually all the time?
I don't know yet. I don't know how
Okay.
that's gonna work. But I have several customers who specifically request that all of the things that are bolded or italicized remain bolded or italicized.
And they're
No.
liner ads, not display ads?
Correct, yeah.
You're gonna have to check on that. I don't know 100% for sure. It really depends on what it looks like out of the system or how you put it in.
Okay, thank you.
Because you can see how this first notice in my text file, this line, this is all on one line, and then the next, et cetera, et cetera. I don't have anything bold or italicized, but this is pretty much what it's gonna look like online. Now, sometimes they come out of a system and it's all on one line. I mean, if it's a text file, if it's text, it's gonna just be one big paragraph. Otherwise, the only other way to get it to look like a, totally formatted is in a PDF file display ad.
I have a question.
Okay.
So I noticed on the screen where you were originally posting the notices
Yes.
that there was a spot down there for the URL. Is that available if we have notices posted on our website? Can we put the URL of the notice, or how does that work?
Now, the URL that's going to show up is from the publisher. I don't believe there's individual URLs for the notices because the notice is being uploaded to texaspublicnotices.com.
Okay.
Neil,
Yeah.
in that URL field,
Ron.
are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so go ahead and click on next there. So basically the URL field that's under the publication is the one that shows up to the left of each publication, but the URL that's on each notice, that is a URL that you can use to point to your website, that notice URL right there. Okay, so if you wanted that to utilize that URL, you would have to fill it, like in this instance, it would be 22 notices. But that URL would point to another website.
Okay.
Okay. So not many people use it. We usually don't go over it, but we also have an iframe available. If you wanted to use that on your local website, that would load the notices on your site from the Texas Public Notices site. And we also have a link that you could point back to the TexasPublicNotices.com website that would default to your notices. So sorry to jump in there. I just jumped on and I heard that question and I want to make sure.
Perfect. That's perfect time. Thank you. Any other questions?
Yes, I would like you to show us how to upload a PDF file.
Sure. Okay, so we're back to the public notices, manage public notices webpage. We click on the green button to add public notices. You would do that under the same option as we did the text file. So just take the default value, number 2, and click next. All right, so the system is based on individual notices. So assuming, that the each PDF file is an individual notice in itself. We would click browse, just like we did for the text file. Choose the display ad, and then go to the next one that you may have. Choose that display ad. So now I've got 2. I could go all the way up to 10. If you have more than 10, then you would do 10 at a time. Go through the process with the first 10, go through and then add however many more you have past 10. In this particular example, I've got 2 chosen. It tells me that, so I'm going to click next. So it scans through the file. It's showing me that I have the first file name is called display ad 1. It's one of 2 files and it's 1 notice. Now you'll notice these gray arrows on the side. They're navigation arrows that can move forward and backwards in my list, but you can't, that will not be activated until we choose a publication and a publication date for these notices. So in my case, I'll take Abernathy. I'll click and grab the date. All right. Then if I try to move ahead, the next one, I'll have to choose a publication for that one and a date for this second file. Add the date. So now I can browse forward and backward on my file, and I can browse if, on the note, I can see the notices that are in those files. Click next. If you get the success message, then it imported those 2 files. And then we come back to the manage public notice webpage where we can see what we've done so far. They're all in uploaded status. Their publication date, who uploaded them, was a manual process, etc. Now those PDFs, and Ron, correct me if I'm wrong, those PDFs were all text. So that's a pretty simple job for the system to import them. There may be an example where you have images in your PDF files. An OCR process will kick off and try to process everything as well. It'll process it as good as the images in the file. There is also the ability to upload PDFs that are pages long, like a tax assessment sort of thing. It could be 10 pages long. The system will scan the first 1,000 characters of a PDF in that particular case and present that as text online with a link to the PDF where the customer can click on that link, view the PDF online, download it, search it, etc.
Yeah, just to kind of explain that, what happens when you upload a PDF? If the PDF is true text, as Neil explained, it'll extract that text, okay? If, for example, it's a scan image, you see them a lot of times for maybe water reports or similar, it's going to run an OCR on it and extract the text. But an OCR is only as good as the image that you put into it, okay? So if it's a very poor quality scanned image or something, the OCR might not extract pure text. You might get some garbled characters or something. And what you can do in those instances is you can basically put a title on it, like basically override the text that's extracted and possibly put, water report for, the county of Sangamon, November 27, 2023. But again, the original PDF will always be available. And then as far as multi-page PDFs, as Neil's explaining, we have like assessment notices here in Illinois. Some of those in Cook County near Chicago could be, 200 pages long. Even though a PDF is 200 pages and it only extracts the first 1,000 characters, every page in that PDF is still searchable on the site. So if you search like Klein, and basically that's on page 20 of 100, it will still show up in the results and they can view the PDF and search for the word Klein. So hopefully that kind of helps you out there. But again, uploading PDFs, the OCR is only good as the image that comes in. And when he showed you those top arrows, the top arrows are switching between files, okay? So basically, on PDFs, you're uploading multiple files at one time. So you have to assign a publication and pub date to each file. But when you upload an individual text document with the pipe symbol, you're only uploading one file. So those middle gray arrows, those large gray arrows, once you assign a pub and a date, you can browse through the notices in each inside of one file per se. So that's the difference between that top gray arrows and those middle gray arrows. Is basically the top one switches between files and the middle one switch between the notices in one file. And what you can also do, say for example, on file 3, go to notice 3. So say you go to notice 3, say you want to add another pub date to there, you could go ahead and add another pub date, and that's only going to put that on notice 3 of 22. Because that's the only place you put it. Now, again, not commonly used. It all depends on your workflow. A lot of questions that are asked, should I upload separately for each run date, or should I go ahead and specify all the publication dates? And I usually suggest uploading to all, each time it runs, in case if you have a cancellation or similar, because once that notice posts, I don't know if Neil went over that with you, but once it posts to the public, you can no longer make changes to it. So if you do have to remove a publication date, you would have to contact TPA to remove that second or third run date if that notice happened to cancel or something. But if you're a smaller newspaper and you're real good about keeping track of individual notices and how they run for each date, then yeah, of course, assign each run that, all 3 run dates to each notice. But the majority of the time, it does work better to upload one file for each date individually. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt there, but I can answer some questions that are in the chat if you want me to, Neil.
Sure.
Okay, so can you advise on the best practices, the OCR process? Does this mean we or the client must proofread every notice for accuracy? The OCR process, again, that's extracting text from an image, okay? And the original PDF that you upload will be there for view. So even if the OCR has a small spelling mistake or something, that is fine. Because again, the original PDF is viewable. Also concerned about notices in a PDF format or format as multiple columns. Multiple columns, it might extract the text out of order. That is fine. Again, the original PDF will be there. So even if, like when it extracts the text just to make it searchable into the window, and it might be a little bit out of order, that's just for search purposes. As soon as they open that PDF, they're going to see all the columns that are there on the original PDF. Now, if you do want to just override that and put a title there, that's fine too. But as long as you get that PDF, you're good. Okay, I'm currently running multiple display notices or multiple pages. How do I make sure they're all going to be uploaded so that they show as one notice? Running multiple display notices that are multiple pages. Okay, if it's a one notice that are multiple pages, you want to upload that as one PDF that's multiple pages. Okay, so again, it's notice based. So even if your notice is 20 pages, that would be one PDF that you're uploading. Let's see. Yes, you can. There was a question, just so I understood. We can upload multiple PDF files on one notice, or a multiple page PDF file on one notice. Yes, you can. What is the deadline to upload for the next day? That all depends on TPA. Most states that we work with, we currently run 21 states. The majority of them suggest to upload the day before or the day of publication. The posting job, say for example, today's the 30th. Okay, so say you upload something for November 7th. That file will not be available. It'll stay in the uploaded status until the 7th. Once the 7th hits, then the system will automatically post it. And once it's posted, then it's available to the public. So again, you can upload early and it will not be available to the public until the actual publication date or the first publication date. as long as you let the system do the work. But if you do upload it, let's say the day after publication, if you do not post it manually, by clicking view and changing the status to posted, it will not be available to the following day once the system does it. But every state's different. In Illinois, we're very happy as long as notices get uploaded within 24, 48 hours of publication. But Texas might be a little different, so I really can't answer that for sure in Texas. So uploading PDF, the conversion text is for search only. The customer will still view the PDF with bolding and italics. Just clearing up that idea of the text version is only for searching. You're absolutely correct. And you're more than welcome. I think I answered all the questions in there. Feel free to unmute if you have more questions. And I didn't mean to just jump in on you here, Neil.
That's very helpful, and I appreciate it because I missed a few things there and getting a lot of questions. It's a large crowd, so that's good.
Yeah, this is great. Will the system convert all languages? It will extract the text, but not convert language per se. There is on our public site, we do have a Google Translate tool at the bottom on the public site. So, and again, I'm just bringing up Illinois examples. We have a notice that has to run in different languages, okay, and in different communities, all right, and we upload those notices in like Spanish, for example. Once it uploads, it will read with Spanish characters, but there is a little Google Translate button at the bottom on our public side to where the user can click on that, and it should convert the language hopefully for them. Now, it will not convert it on a PDF, only on text documents. But normally, at least here in Illinois, if we do run a Spanish version, we run an English version too. I don't know how that works in Texas. Okay, I think I got them all.
All right, thank you, Ron.
You're welcome.
All right, we're almost finished up here with public notices. Just one more example. As you saw, when I clicked the green button to upload public notices, the default is the upload the files, which we just went through, but you have another option to upload a single public notice via manual text entry. It opens up a basic text editor. If you need to, you can certainly upload one notice in a file, but if you need to quickly put one up, this might work for you as well, where you can grab the text of a notice and copy and paste it in. Say I wanted to get this one, I could just paste it in. Okay, it's a text editor with some limited options such as bold, italic, and underline. I didn't get that whole notice, I don't believe. No. So let's go and fix that. I'll grab that first line that I missed, and I'll go in here, post that in. All right. So if there was a reason for you to have to bold something or italicize it, you do have that option here. Once you copy that in, you can click next, and just as you did with the text files, you have to add your publication, and you have to add your publication date. Click next to finish. Get the success message, you're good to go. You click close and refresh. And if that particular notice was something that I needed to get posted, as Ron went over before, you can click on view and you can change its status to posted, and within a minute or right away, it'll be available online. Typically, we wait for the posting job to run because we're working on tomorrow's notices, or in a case of a weekly, next week's notices, but the option is available for you there if you need to get something online right away. Any other questions about what we've looked at so far?
Yes, I have a question. Let's say somebody accidentally uploads the wrong file. Can you delete it at this stage before it uploads to the website? Can you delete, is there an option to delete a file if you upload the wrong one by accident?
Well, you can
is,
do. Go
there
ahead.
is an
Ron.
option to cancel it. You can cancel the notice as long as it's in the uploaded status. So instead of changing it to posted, you could click on view on that, and then you can change it to canceled and then save it. And then that will stop it from ever showing on the public side. And eventually it'll purge it off. There's a purge criteria, like it changes it from canceled and it ends up changing it to to a purge status, and then eventually it goes off completely out of the system. But that will stop it from going online. I do have another question here. In column, we would have to describe what kind of notices it is, but we need to do that for this TPA as well. No, we do not have that option. When we built the site to us, that was a lot of work trying to describe every notice that you're uploading. We do have a popular search that searches like for foreclosures, for example. And we use keywords to do that. We're in the process of a very large upgrade. I mean, the upload process won't change and stuff, but we do plan to use newer technology to find notice types and so forth after they're uploaded. So no, you do not need to specify the type when it's uploaded. Can you explain further how this is different than column? I do not know column's upload procedure. I apologize. I've never seen their system. But again, we run this in 21 states. Column decided to stop statewide website support. So far we've received, which Texas being the first 7 of columns states that will be coming over on board with us. I can't tell you how it's different than column as far as uploading, because I've never used their system. I just know based off of past questions kind of how to answer some of those questions.
Okay. All right, if there's no further questions, we'll move on. Oh, we got one more popped in. When will we be receiving our credentials to log in?
The form stack that you filled out to sign up for this training, you should have received the area for login, which would have been an email address and password. As TPA is receiving those forms, they're putting those users into the system. Okay. So whatever you filled out on that form, it should be what is set up in the system. Now, Sue's on here if Sue wants to talk about that as well.
Yes, Gabriel, which newspaper are you with?
I have a further question about that too.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
So I work for the Terrell Tribune, but we are umbrellaed under the Van Zant News. So my general manager will be doing a login with all of our papers. So will I be able to get a separate login for just the Tribune?
Yes. So basically, it depends on what forms you filled out, but we can assign users to multiple publications. So say the person who filled out your form has super level access to 10 publications. They can go in and hit users, add user, put in your information, and then they can specify what publication access that you have access to.
Okay, I will let her know. I know she hasn't filled out the form yet. She said she was doing it tomorrow.
Okay, yeah. And either that, or if you put your login on each, a different login on each publication, that's fine. But my suggestion is if you do have a corporate group, you have that one user that has access to all the publications in that group. And then that person can just click on users, create their access, and then go from there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, the last section to cover is the reports control panel applet. Here you can run reports, views by publication, posted by publication, either by published date or upload date, number of notices by county, number of notices by city, or a generic total uploaded, posted. So you just select which report you want, grab a date range, and then click get counts. Abernathy is the one that we've been using as test, so that's why it shows so many. But you will get the data for the publications for which you are assigned. And when you choose these reports, you have the option to choose a frequency for which they can be sent via email. The default is no, I don't want to receive them. You could select daily, weekly, and or monthly. And I see we got one more in the chat. That pretty much covers the 4 control panel applets that we have in the newspaper admin portal. Fill out the form, but email address and password are not working.
Okay, yeah, that in the chat. Sue will see that. Sue, there's one in the chat saying that their email and password are not working. I'm sure Sue, with this many people on the call today, it might take a little bit to get everybody set up, because I was shocked and I had to join a little late. I had another meeting to see so many people attending, which is awesome, wonderful.
Great.
But it will take time if people filled out those forms to get those, but hopefully those are all set up soon, right, Sue?
I am trying to, am I muted? I am
No, we
trying,
can hear you.
I'm trying to get them up as fast as I can. I have received a few, since this morning and yesterday evening, but I think I have almost everyone in there. I don't know why. I can go in and try to re-enter the ones that are having difficulties. That seemed has worked, but
Okay.
we're working on it.
And make sure you
Yep.
go to txnewspaper.texaspublicnotices.com, because we have had some people go to texaspublicnotices.com, which is the public site, and try to log in as a smart search user. That's for public user use. The newspaper control panel is txnewspaper.texaspublicnotices.com. And then there's a question, when is this going into effect? The site is live, so please use the new system. We will, once we get everybody using the new system, then that's when we'll transfer all the archives over from the column system, okay? Right now we have a link to column's old site, and then from the main site, and then once we get everybody using the new system, then that's when we'll pull over to archives and column will shut off the old site.
Yeah,
and I'll put that in the chat.
Papers has signed up on the smart search. I'm getting ready to delete that so that I can make sure that they are on our admin site, that they had gone to the, I'm going to call it the blue site, because it's very confusing. People are trying to register on the smart search, and that's for people who wish to view the public notices, not to be an admin. You can sign up for them, but newspapers are not able to sign up for them, correct? Don't sign up on that.
A newspaper user can be a smart search user if they want to be, but that's not the control panel of the admin. That's for public site.
Yeah, when I try to enter that same email in our admin site, it rejects it because that email is already.
Yep.
Yeah, you can't. Like, if, for example, if a newspaper tries to sign up for smart search, you can't have the same email address for your portal login and for your smart search login. Okay. So there was a question here: how long do the archives remain searchable? Every state we have now keeps notices forever. Okay. When we first started 10, 11 years ago, we would purge notices after a year. Then we switched to 2 years. Then we switched to 3 years. Finally, every state that we have keeps notices online forever. So what email will the username and password come from? It's the one that was filled out on the form. So if you did not receive a form, please reach out to admin at texaspublicnotices.com and or Sue here on the call, and we can get you a link to that form. I can also put, or Sue, can you put a link, or I can, in the chat here to that form if you have not filled out the form. Broad question: is the purpose of this just to have notices available online? Also clarify, we the publication will be uploading notices, not the client. Correct. the newspaper will be the ones uploading to the site, not the client. And if I recall correctly, Texas is now like Illinois. It is now required to have notices online as well as in print. Okay. And again, that's to help legislative efforts to keep public notices in print. So you want to make sure all your notices are online on the site as well as in print. Okay, so the form was put in the chat. Oh no, that was for
I
the
did the-
thing. Okay.
Here it is. There
Um,
it is.
When do we need to start
Yes.
uploading the TPA? Again, right away, as soon as possible. Please start using this new site to start uploading because the column site will be shut down within a matter of time once we get everybody uploading. And then Sue put in the chat the link for the form stack form, which that's where you'll put your username and password on.
Hey, and I was trying to go to the help button on as I was logged in for the admin site to get the
Yeah.
downloaded PDF, and it won't let me click on it from my site. I don't know
For
if
your URL, Sue, there's no, I mean, I could put one there, but it's under the newspaper login.
Oh, okay, never mind. All right, I'll do that.
So you have a different URL for your control panel.
Okay.
If you log in as one of the test users in TX newspaper, you can download it from the newspaper portal. But from your portal, the help button really
You
doesn't
hit
do
that
it.
help button. And I also downloaded it and have sent it out to a few people who have requested it. So we'll send that out to in a mass email. We'll just make it easy for y'all if y'all want.
If you're done here, Neil, I'm going to share my screen if that's okay.
Sure.
Oh, wait,
Go ahead.
question.
One more.
I upload the e-edition every week in PDF with the ability for someone to view it without having to be registered. They get the free article views per week. Does this meet the Texas law requirements of published public notices online? I can't imagine it would. Sue might be able to answer this better, but Illinois, and I believe Texas law is the same. It has to be on a statewide website, probably controlled and operated by the majority of Texas newspapers. In order for it to be legal. Is that correct, Sue?
As far as I know, it has to be on the public website. That is the law. I mean, September 1st, that is, yeah.
Yeah,
that
I
is
believe
the
you
law.
guys kind of copied the law in Illinois and now in quite a few other states. They all kind of follow the same, that it's one statewide site controlled and operated by the majority of newspapers in that state. So. Okay, I'm going to share my screen very quickly on my side. Just to kind of introduce you to something new. We've been running the statewide public notice website for quite some time now for multiple states, as explained, and the majority of column states have already contracted to come over with us. So we are working on major upgrades to that as well. So we're working on that. We're also working on a new archive platform. But one platform that we just kind of finished up is the Place Public Notice platform. This is again brought to you by all our states through the associations. It's a portal, basically where either your newspaper can use it and or a public user can use it to create notices online, to schedule them, to send you, whether it be a JPEG file, PDF file, InDesign file. It does the billing for you. It can also automatically upload to the public notice website. So again, this is nothing required to use. I want you to understand that, but it is an optional component for your newspapers. If you have interest in it, please go to placeit.io, fill out the contact us form, and I can get you a demo scheduled if you are interested in something like this. But basically, it's a way to create notices online, have that all the pricing and charging done for you, whether it be by column inch or by line or by a flat rate and or similar. And again, placeit.io, there's a contact us form. And I won't go into it further because I know we've taken quite a bit of your time already. And, but I just wanted to bring that out to you. Did I hear you say that you send the link out as a mass email to member newspapers? I did. Sue, can you answer that?
For the PDF?
It says, Sue,
for
did
the
I hear you say that you will send the link out as a mass email to member newspapers? I think you said as you'll send the user guide out, correct?
Yeah, the user guide we can send out if that's what they're referring to.
Okay.
Is that, did I answer that question?
Okay. But again, up in the chat, and I'll put it again, the control panel is at txnewspaper.texaspublicnotices.com. There's not any more questions. I'll let Neil, do you have anything else? Sue, if you got anything else? And again, I apologize to everybody. I kind of jumped on late. And Neil was kind of doing the training, but we kind of work together sometimes. So
Yeah, that's great, Ron. Thank you very much. I don't have anything else, so unless there's questions, I think we're pretty close to wrapping up.
Yeah, I appreciate your patience in all of this. I am, trying to update and add all the publications as soon as I receive. So hopefully it'll get done in a timely manner. I should be current right now in case I may have missed a few. It seems like that some of y'all are having some difficulties, but just please, let me know and I will get it taken care of as soon as possible.
And Sue, if you need help entering some of those forms, just send them to us and I'll have Cindy be more than happy to help you. So
like I said, I think I'm current unless,
Okay.
sometimes the forms they stack up. So anyway, we're good.
Right.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining. I appreciate it. We appreciate it and look forward to working with you in the future.
There is one quick question. People can go ahead and end, but would we have to upload past notices? No, we'll get those from the column site. But please upload to this site from here on out, and then we will transfer the notices from column site. And everybody else, you're more than welcome, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you all. Have a great day. Bye.
Bye.